Hey there, friend. Welcome back to English Podcast Flow. I'm Alice, and I'm so excited you're here for day 4. Today I want to share something really personal with you, something I never thought I would talk about publicly. When I first moved to an English-speaking country, I was terrified. I had studied English for years. I knew grammar, I knew vocabulary, but when I tried to speak, nothing came out right. People looked at me with confused faces. They asked me to repeat myself. Sometimes they just smiled and nodded, even though I knew they didn't understand me. It was heartbreaking. I felt invisible. Like I had lost my voice, my personality, my confidence. But slowly, I discovered 10 simple habits. Not magic tricks, not expensive courses, just small daily habits that completely transformed my English. And today, I'm going to share all 10 with you. These are the habits that took me from feeling lost and frustrated to speaking English naturally and confidently. So let's dive in. But first, let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like you're stuck? Like you study and study, but you're not improving fast enough? I know that feeling. And that's exactly why I'm here. Every single day on this channel, we give you one powerful lesson, one new habit, one step closer to fluency. So if you're tired of feeling stuck and you're ready to finally break through, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell because every episode builds on the last one. And missing even one day means missing one more tool that could change everything for you. Okay, let's talk about these 10 habits. Habit number 1, think in English. Now, I know what you're thinking. Alice, that sounds impossible. I can't just switch my brain to English. I get it. I really do. But here's the secret. You don't need to think in full sentences at first. When I started, I would just name things around me. In my head, I would look at a cup and think, cup. I would see a tree and think, green tree. I would feel tired and think, I'm tired. Simple, easy, no pressure. And slowly, my brain started to think in English automatically, without translating. So here's your challenge. Today, just name 10 things you see in English, in your mind. That's it. This one habit changed everything for me, because once you stop translating, you start thinking like a native speaker. Habit number 2, talk to yourself in English. Yes, I'm serious. And yes, I know it sounds a little crazy, but let me tell you a story. When I first arrived in Canada, I lived alone in a small apartment. I was too shy to practice English with anyone. I was terrified of making mistakes. So one day, I started talking to myself while I cooked dinner, while I cleaned, while I got ready in the morning. I would say things like, okay, Alice, now you need to cook pasta. Where did I put my keys? Today was a long day. I'm so tired. At first, it felt weird, but slowly it became natural. And you know what happened? When I finally had real conversations with people, the words came out easier because I had already practiced them alone in my apartment. So don't be afraid to talk to yourself. It's one of the best ways to practice without pressure. Your brain doesn't know the difference between talking to yourself and talking to someone else. It's all practice. Habit number 3, shadow native speakers. Now, if you've been watching our channel, you already know what shadowing is, but let me tell you why this habit is so powerful. When I was learning English, I would watch TV shows, but not just watch. I would repeat everything the characters said out shit loud. If someone on the show said, "I'm going to the store," I would pause and repeat, "I'm going to the store." If someone said, "That makes sense," I would say, "That makes sense." I copied their rhythm, their intonation, the way their voice went up and down, and slowly my English started to sound more natural. Because shadowing trains your mouth, your tongue, your voice to move the way native speakers move. So find a video, a podcast, or even one of our episodes and practice shadowing for just 5 minutes a day. Trust me, this habit will change your accent and your confidence. Habit number 4, learn phrases, not words. This one was a game changer for me. For years, I memorized individual words. I would write them in notebooks. I would make flashcards, but when it was time to speak, I couldn't put the words together. They just sat in my brain. Useless. Then I learned something important. Native speakers don't use individual words. They use phrases, chunks of language. For example, instead of learning the word important, learn the phrase "it's important." Instead of learning understand, learn "I don't understand." See the difference? Phrases give you context. They give you a complete thought. When I started learning phrases, my English became faster, more fluent, because I didn't have to build sentences from scratch anymore. So from now on, whenever you learn a new word, learn a phrase that uses that word. Habit number 5, write in English every day, even if it's just one sentence. Let me share something with you. When I moved to the US, I felt so lonely. I missed my family. I missed my friends. I missed my language. So I started keeping a journal in English. At first, my sentences were short and full of mistakes. I would write things like, "Today I went to store. I buy milk and bread. I feel sad." But I didn't care about the mistakes. I just wrote every single day. And you know what? After a few months, I looked back at my old entries and I could see how much I had improved. Writing helps you organize your thoughts. It helps you practice grammar. It helps you find your voice in English. So start today. Write about your day, your feelings, your dreams, anything. No one has to read it. It's just for you. And it works. Habit number 6, listen actively, not passively. Here's the thing. A lot of people listen to English, but they don't really listen. They play a podcast in the background while they cook, or they watch a movie while scrolling on their phone. That's passive listening. And it doesn't help you much. Active listening means you focus. You pay attention. You try to understand every word. Let me give you an example. When I started learning English, I would play the same podcast episode 3 times. The first time, I just listened. I didn't worry about understanding everything. The second time, I listened and tried to catch the main ideas. The third time, I listened and focused on the details, the phrases, the pronunciation, and that's when the magic happened. I started to notice patterns. I started to understand faster. So don't just listen. Listen with intention. That's the difference. Habit number 7, make mistakes out loud. This one is hard. I know, because we're all afraid of mistakes. I remember one time I was at a cafe. I wanted to order a latte, but instead I said, "I want a ladder." The barista looked at me, confused. And then she started laughing. Not in a mean way, just because it was funny. I was so embarrassed. My face turned red. I wanted to disappear. But you know what? She corrected me. She said, "Oh, you mean a latte?" And I never made that mistake again. Mistakes are not the enemy. Mistakes are your teachers. Every mistake you make out loud is a lesson you'll never forget. So don't be afraid to speak. Don't be afraid to mess up. Because that's how you grow. The people who become fluent are not the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who make mistakes and keep going. Habit number 8. Connect with English speakers, even if it's just online. When I first moved, I didn't have any English-speaking friends. So one joined online groups, language exchange apps, Facebook communities. I would send messages, I would comment on posts, I would join video calls, and slowly I started making connections. Real connections with people from all over the world. Some of those people became my friends. They helped me practice. They corrected me. They encouraged me. And the best part, they were learning too. So we all made mistakes together, and it didn't feel scary. So don't isolate yourself. Find a community, find people who are learning like you, or native speakers who want to help. Because language is about connection, and you can't learn a language alone. Habit number 9, set small daily goals. Not big, overwhelming goals. Small ones. For example, don't say, "I want to be fluent in English." That's too big, it's too vague, and it's too far away. Instead, say, "Today, I will learn 5 new phrases. Today, I will shadow 1 video. Today, I will write 3 sentences in my journal." Small, specific, achievable. Let me tell you something. When I started doing this, everything changed. Because every day I could check off my goal, and that made me feel proud, accomplished. And when you feel proud every day, you stay motivated. So don't wait for the big moment when you're suddenly fluent. Celebrate the small wins every single day. And finally, habit number 10, be patient with yourself. This is the hardest habit, but it's the most important. Learning a language takes time. It takes months, sometimes years. And there will be days when you feel like you're not improving, days when you want to give up. I had those days, so many of them. There were nights when I cried, when I felt like I would never sound natural, never feel at home in English. And finally, habit number 10, be patient with yourself. This is the hardest habit, but it's the most important. Learning a language takes time. It takes months, sometimes years. And there will be days when you feel like you're not improving, days when you want to give up. I had those days, so many of them. There were nights when I cried, when I felt like I would never sound natural, never feel at home in English. But I kept going, one day at a time, one habit at a time, and slowly I got better. Not because I was special, but because I didn't give up. So be kind to yourself. Forgive your mistakes. Celebrate your progress. You are doing something incredible. You are learning a new language, a new way to express yourself, a new way to see the world. That's not easy, and you should be proud. Okay, now I want to hear from you. Go to the comments right now and tell me which app. These 10 habits are you going to start today? Is it thinking in English, talking to yourself, writing in a journal, or maybe you're already doing some of these habits? If you are, tell me which one has helped you the most. I read every single comment, and I love learning about your journey. Plus, when you write it down, you're making a commitment to yourself. You're saying, yes, I'm going to do this. So go ahead, comment below. Let's support each other. I can't wait to read your stories. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope these 10 habits help you as much as they helped me. And tomorrow, Frank is coming back with something really fun. It's a challenge, a listening challenge. He's going to test your English level, from beginner all the way to advanced with real listening practice. And here's the cool part. You'll discover exactly where you are right now. And you'll see how much you've already improved. It's going to be fun. It's going to be helpful. And it's going to show you how far you've come. So don't miss it. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Same time, same place, right here at English Podcast Flow. Until then, keep practicing. Keep believing in yourself. Keep your English flowing. See you, flow friend.